apparently, I was reading, he's having some random testimonial charity game or something in England, and that's going to be his last game.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
Absolutely no connection here, but never mind. And it was Dragons 14, the West Tigers 42. Graham played in this one, 41 tackles and 104 metres, and Widdop scored a try, maybe his last one.
So yeah, there's only one round left in the NRL regular season, and at the moment it sees the Storm, they're top on 40 points, and they are minor premiers, they can't be caught. The Roosters are second on 36 points, and they will finish in that position. The Raiders and the Rabbitohs currently fill out the top four, both on 32, but with Manly just behind on 30 points, and also, though Manly do have a worse points difference. 6th place Eels will be in the finals. 7th place Broncos on 25 and 8th place Sharks on 24. We'll be keeping an eye on West Tigers, also on 24, and the Knights on 22, who have a hypothetical chance based on points difference. They're not a million miles behind in that regard. Actually, the Sharks and the Tigers will have a win and in match in round 25, so that's going to be interesting. Cowboys and Panthers, Cowboys, Bulldogs, Warriors, Dragons. Their fans won't be seeing playoff footy this year. The Titans will finish bottom, as Justin Holbrook has a mighty rebuild on his hands next year.
It does. Well, it can't get any worse, can it?
And in terms of other games,
yes,
it's a week old, but Dr. Hideous got in touch with a game review of Brooklyn Kings 12, Jacksonville Axemen 6 in the USA RL Grand Final. He said, "A week late, but you asked for it. Both teams were big, strong, fit, ran and tackled their hearts out, and had surprisingly good skills and coordination, considering that both sides included imports, union crossover players and rugby newbies. Jacksonville were bizarrely allergic to kicking on their last tackle, so had fewer scoring opportunities and made less territory. Hence the Kings win." Yeah, it was a defensive middle battle. Maybe that reflects the fact that the game was played up in the north rather than the south. It feels like the grand finals in the south tend to be more high-scoring affairs than the ones that are played in the north. I'm not sure if that's just my mind playing tricks on me, but well done to the Brooklyn Kings with their debut title in the USA RL.
Yep.
Okay, that is all the results and game chat covered from the last week in the world of rugby league. We're now going to throw our guessing caps on and make our predictions for round 28 of the Super League. Predictions time then, Alan, and it's Super League round 28, and it kicks off on Thursday night in a very important playoff for the playoffs. 7:45pm kickoff on Sky. Castleford host Hull FC. Hull FC may be slightly better away team than they are a home team this year, particularly against the big sides. Castleford are in patchy form, but defensively look robust at the moment. How do you see this one going?
Two very inconsistent sides. I'm backing Cass on the back of their iron, strong defence. Cass at home, just edge it for me, even though Hull FC are inconsistent as anything and could easily win it. But I'm going to go Cass by 4.
Yeah, I'm thinking similar. I'm going Cass by 8. Again, home field advantage. Hull FC, if they bring the team that they played last week, I struggle to see where enough creativity will come from against a Tigers side that is defending quite well. And I always feel like they know their angles a little bit better on that little pitch than they do on some of the more expansive turfs out there. So, Cass by 8. Okay. Friday's Sky game also 7:45 kickoff, as all of the rest of the games are, because they're all Friday night 7:45pm after this. We might get a take on that after we wrap through them, but it's a desperate game that might decide relegation for London as they go and visit Hull KR. So it's 11th versus 12th at this stage of the season. I just feel that Hull KR have slightly more nous and quality, so I'm going to go them by 7.
Danny Maguire drop goal? Probably. I can't disagree with you. I just think home advantage might just swing it. it's a winner takes all. If Hull KR win, they're safe, and I think that motivation will just do it for them. KR by 2.
Do you think it's going to be a close, low-scoring, scrappy game, or a defences be arse, let's try and score tries because that's our strong suit kind of game?
Neither of these teams can defend particularly well. It could easily be 30-28 or something like that, easily.
It's going to be like 11-4 or something, isn't it?
I hope it's a high score. I hope it's entertaining, because my God, we deserve it after last week.
The next game is one of the games where maybe only one of the team has much to play for. It's Leeds hosting Salford. Salford obviously looking to absolutely cement their playoff berth with a win, which will be the case if they do win. Leeds, really, it's all over for their season. So pressure off for Leeds. Do you think that might play in their favour? Or Salford, good form? What do you think?
Well, as Rich says, Leeds have officially put the ice on their season. Apparently, it's all done now. I don't see them having much to play for. Salford have still got to win out. So I think Salford will win this, and I think they might win it quite comfortably. Salford by 14.
Yeah, I've gone Salford by 12. Very similar. They're the team with something to play for, so I'm going to pick them when they're the team with something to play for. I think that's the way it's going to go. Okay, next one to talk about is Saints versus Huddersfield. This is a team who have everything already sealed at the top against a team who might feel like they just need one more win to be certain down at the bottom. While Saints haven't been scoring loads of points recently, they're just better than Huddersfield, so Saints by 2 to 3 scores.
Yeah, St Helens need to play themselves into form. It's not winner takes all for Huddersfield. Last week will have done a lot to ease their burden. So, yeah, Saints to play themselves back into a bit of form. Saints by 16.
Okay, Warrington versus Wakefield. So back to a game where both sides probably need something from this. Maybe Warrington needs something more than Wakefield do. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Warrington needs to arrest this slide desperately, and playing against Wakefield is a particularly good opportunity to do that. Back at home, big crowd, hopefully. Warrington to win it by 18.
I think it'll be closer, just because I think Warrington are trying to rediscover themselves. They've come up with some fantastic game plans recently. I think the game plan in the first half against Salford was similar to their game plan at Wembley that was so effective. And I think they need to rediscover more than just a game plan at this stage. They need to find some form, because they've got to beat lots of teams rather than just one team to win the trophy at the end of the playoffs. So I think Wire will win, but I think by 8, because Wakefield are just really busted and probably feel like they're safe, especially if Hull KR win on the Friday as well, which I'm tipping to happen. Wire by 8. Yes. Final game to talk about then is Wigan versus the Holiday Boys. I mean, look, I gave them benefit of the doubt last week. I can't do that anymore. Catalans, for me, if they win, then it's a big shock. Wigan to win by 16, I've got. Wigan need it, Catalans, nah.
Catalan, as you say, they're on the beach, not just in Barcelona. Wigan to win probably by 20.
Okay, into the Championship game of the week. We've picked out a game that involves those top 5 teams in that battle for places, and I think this one will tell us if one of the teams is a realistic, credible threat in that playoffs or not. It's Featherstone versus Toulouse. If Featherstone can compete in this game, I think they can compete in the playoffs. If they lose by double figures, that tells us that they're definitely the 5th best team by a distance. So, and I do think that'll be the case. I think Toulouse will win by a couple of scores.
Yeah, I think Toulouse have been playing themselves into a bit of form, so I would say Toulouse just to squeak this one.
In League One, obviously there's 2 games of real significance, really. Coventry versus Whitehaven and Hunslet versus Oldham. But obviously Hunslet versus Oldham is a game that's got 2 teams in that top 5, in that top 6 positions, so a bit more riding on it. If Whitehaven do slip up on the Saturday, Oldham have to win this one, but they go up if they win this one. So where do you see this one playing?
I still think Oldham will win this one. I think Oldham are a slightly better team than Hunslet, so I'll go Oldham to win this.
I agree. Slightly better team, so we'll slightly win the game. Okay, Women's Super League game of the week. I haven't written it down. Leeds versus St Helens. Right, that's that. I didn't type it, but I'm sure that's the game of the week next week in the Women's Super League.
It is now.
Yeah.
Make it so.
And then into the NRL, where we... I can't move on. I have to check that I'm right. Yeah, Leeds versus St Helens Sunday 2:00. St Helens hosting Leeds. Okay, Wigan versus Bradford actually is a big game. If Wigan win that one, they confirm their playoff spot. So that's also a big game. Maybe that one's
probably will.
Contender for game of the week as well. Right. Okay. NRL Brit picks. Rabbitohs versus Roosters, so 2 top 4 sides. A preview to what we'll see in the playoffs maybe. Thursday 10:50 for that one. Raiders versus the Warriors, Saturday 6 a.m. The Raiders, John Bateman et al. Looking to solidify that extra win. What's it called? Like you get an extra chance, don't you, if you finish in the top 4?
Yeah.
So I think they might do that against the Warriors. Bulldogs versus the Broncos, Saturday 8:30 a.m. Although I'd be very, very shocked if Herbie Harmsworth played. Titans versus the Dragons, Saturday at 10:35 a.m. Basically, we've got the 2 worst teams in the competition playing there. I'm not sure if they're going to televise it for us, if they're going to televise a more significant game like Sharks versus West Tigers. But Callum Watkins end his season on a high? What odds? Or will Gareth Widdop end his time in the NRL on a high?
Oh, come on, Titans! If you're going to do it, you're going to do it today.
Yeah, I think that the Dragons will win. Okay, make sure any of those games that you watch along, you get your fan views in on the Google form. Obviously, if it's not one of the games that's already listed, then please do use the other option. Put in the game. Tell us what you think, and we'll talk about it on next week's show. And thanks to everyone who got in their fan views on this week's show. It was a return to somewhat of form, I think, this week for the quantity and quality there. Okay, good stuff. Right, let's move on to wrap up the show. I don't know how long we'll take, but we'll see how we get on. SLP quiz time then to start the wrap up. It's like I said at the top of the show, it's a Who Said That quiz. So I've got 3 quotes taken from the last 10 years. They're on a theme. The theme is coaches' comments about referees, because I couldn't quite dig into chairman's comments, but talking about referees seems to be so omnipresent that I thought we'd do this and see if we could remember some memorable occasions where coaches have commented on match officials. So, quote 1, which is the most recent one that I'll be giving you. Quote 1 is, "The effort was phenomenal, it really was. Really big win because of the sending off, but I thought the red card was ridiculous. You see 10 of them every week, it was crazy," which was said by a current rugby league coach in March of 2018. Was it March? March or April 2018? I think March.
It's somebody who won despite having somebody sent off. Somebody who likes to praise his effort. Not a clue, really. Danny Ward.
No, it was Lee Radford. After Beretta Faremo got a red card. I think it was the Easter Derby game, and you know, that very clear, blatant, stiff swinging arm into someone's head.
One. Yeah, I remember
that crazy decision.
Yeah, crazy decision.
Okay, number 2. I can't quite get my head around some of the things that have gone on out there. The manner of the referee was really poor towards the players, so there's something needs to be done there. He had a big impact all the way through the game, and I thought he lost his cool and lost his composure. That's something referees can't do, said by a current Super League coach in May 2016. And as an extra clue, this has been brought up many a time over the SLP Chronicles.
Is it Justin Holbrook?
It is not Justin Holbrook, no.
Just as your favourite ref blamer. Chris Chester?
No, it's Daryl Powell after Jake Webster was sin-binned for dissent. because Jake Webster lost his cool and composure after the referee made absolutely correct decision on a not offside call in the Castleford loss to Wigan back in May 2016.